first thing I'm going to do when this is all over is get a haircut. Yikes. Hello, it's me, the ukulele teacher, here to teach you how to play Grass Skirt Chase from SpongeBob Squarepants. I'm going to break this down for you piece by piece. I'm going to teach you how to plplay the chords first and the melody second. If you would like a PDF song sheet to help me put the whole thing together, then sign up today to patreon.com/uteacher, where you get a PDF song sheet with every single lesson, plus loads of other cool perks, goodies, and rewards as well. But don't worry if you can't afford to sign up to Patreon, because everything you need is going to be right here on the screen for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is teach you how to play the chords. These are the chords that you'll need for the song. If you already know them, then skip ahead now. To play the chord of D minor, put your first finger on the first fret of the second string, your second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and your third finger on the second fret of the third string. And the chord of D minor should sound like this. To play the chord of G minor, put your first finger on the first fret of the first string, your second finger on the second fret of the third string, and your third finger on the third fret of the second string. And the chord of G minor should sound like this. To play the chord of A, put your first finger on the first fret of the third string, and your second finger on the second fret of the fourth string. And the chord of A should sound like this. To play the chord of C, put your third finger on the third fret of the first string, and the chord of C should sound like this. To play the chord of F, put your first finger on the first fret of the second string, and your second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and the chord of F should sound like this. And to play the chord of B flat, bar your first and second string on the first fret with your first finger. That basically just means you push down on both strings at the same time with the same finger. Then add your second finger to the second fret of the third string, and your third finger to the third fret of the fourth string, and the chord of B flat should sound like this. By the way, a big thank you to Ortega Guitars for providing me with this beautiful ukulele to play and for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to find out more about Ortega and this ukulele, then check out the link in the video description below. So I'm just going to go through the chord part very quickly, because it's not too difficult and it's nice and straightforward. Really, the hardest part is just playing it fast enough, because the song itself is actually at 145 BPM, but probably when you're practicing you want to play it a bit slower. So the strumming pattern that I'm playing all the way through is just a nice and steady down, down, up, down, up, down, up, like this. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, do, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Because at full speed it'll sound more like this. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. But we'll just start off nice and slow and play it a lot slower than that to begin with. So basically the first line the chords are D minor to G minor to D minor to A. Here you play the down, down, up pattern 4 times on D minor, once on G minor and D minor, and then twice on A, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1, 2. And then the second line starts off the same, 4 on D minor, 1 on G minor and 1 on D minor, and then you play 1 on A and 1 on D minor, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. Then the next line you play 1 on C, 1 on F, 1 on B flat, and 1 on A, like this. 1, 1, 1, 1. And then in the final line you play 4 times on D minor, once on G minor and D minor, and then once on A. And then you go into the ending riff, which I'll teach you in a second, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. And then the ending riff, which is also the same as the beginning riff, goes like this. So that's how to play the rhythm section, or indeed the chord section of the song. Let's just go ahead and play it through one time so you have a rough idea of how it'll sound when you put it all together. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how to play the easy part of the grass skirt chase. That's nice and straightforward, but now we're going to learn the melody. And to be honest with you, that's not much harder either. For this though, you will need to be able to read tab. So if that's something you don't know how to do already, then check out my video first on how to read tab. There's a little link in the corner of the screen. It'll take you literally 2.5 minutes to learn, and then you can come back and watch the end of this video because I'll be here waiting for you. So the first part of the song, whether you're playing the rhythm section or the lead section, starts off like this. To do that, you want to put your first finger on the first fret of the second string and your second finger on the second fret of the third string and pluck them both together. Then slide it up so your fingers are on the fourth and fifth fret of the second and third strings. And then slide it up again so your fingers are on the seventh and eighth fret of the second and third string. And then slide it back down again. So you basically start with your first finger on the first fret, slide it up to the fourth fret, slide it up to the seventh fret, back down to the fourth fret, and then first, fourth, first, and each time you have your second finger one fret above. So if you pluck those strings both together all the way through, it should sound like this. And what you'll notice that I'm doing is I'm keeping those fingers on the strings all the time, so I don't take them off. Because then you get that kind of horrible jumpy noise, but here instead you get a sort of slidey noise, so it should sound more like this. And you hear the notes kind of sliding up and down the fretboard, and that's how to play the opening section. And the good news is that's the opening section whether you're playing the lead part or the rhythm part. And it's also the closing section as well. So when we get to the end, you've already learned the closing section. Okay, so to play the bulk of the melody on this song, you're going to need the following 6 notes. That is second fret on the third string, open second string, first fret second string, third fret second string, open first string, and first fret first string, or basically the notes that make up the G minor and D minor chords. So what you want to do is get your second finger on the second fret of the third string and your first finger on the first fret of the second string, and get used to just playing those 6 notes backwards and forwards until you can do it without thinking about it. And now we've got the sort of scale of notes that we're going to need, we can start to learn the melody. So after the opening and closing riff, which goes like this, this song is made up of 4 lines. The first, second and third lines all start like this. And then it goes on from there. So the first line goes like this. And then you start going backwards down that G minor chord. Then the second line starts off again. This time it ends on the second fret of the third string. Taking you into your middle section, the third line. We start off by playing second fret on the third string and then open third string, and then open and first on the second string, And then here's the part of the song that you might find difficult. You bar the first and second strings together and play the first fret like this. Then slide it up so your first finger is on the 5th fret of the first string, but add your second finger to the 6th fret of the second string. And then play the first and second strings together open like this. And then the third line starts off the same as lines 1 and 2. And then that penultimate bar is very similar to the others, but it just changes a little bit. And then you end off by playing that opening riff again, like this. So let's put that all together and play through the lead section. It should sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, if you want a song sheet so you can follow along and put the whole thing together, then sign up to patreon.com/uteacher. So put both of those parts together, play it at full speed, and it should sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how to play Grass Skirt Chase from SpongeBob Squarepants. So for fun, as we're in lockdown or quarantine, why don't you guys make a video of you playing both parts, put it together and see how that sounds. Or you could even do it over FaceTime or Zoom with a friend and see how that sounds. You guys can play together. I've been the ukulele teacher. I'll be back again soon with some more great lessons and videos for you. Until then, if you have any ideas for suggestions for songs you'd like to learn while we're in this crazy lockdown situation, then let me know right now in the comments below. Otherwise, until next time, stay safe, stay well, stay indoors. I love you all and I wish you the best.